So who's shunning their haircuts? Why is it not reality for everyone, for all, that half the population who are males, who penises, that they go to barber shops every 30 days? Half the population of Americans would be like, I don't know, 110 million Americans going to barber shops once every 30 days. So that's 12 times a year, spaced out equally in equal parts. So you'd have to go around the same time every month to keep your hair cut short. And if you grow your hair long, I suppose you would be hiding that you don't do keep it the same length every month. So would more males have longer hair if we were keeping track of all the males? So what about payments? How do you pay a barber? Or how do you get a barber to be interested in you? Or would you finally be pushing the barber out of his own shop, and that people will have to cut each other's hair and leave? Yeah, maybe you could put the pressure on the various establishments that they have to move along their barbers, that they don't just stand around and wait for someone to come in the door, that they actually would leave with someone they cut the hair and leave. If the barber doesn't need his own haircut, he doesn't need to be in a barber shop. We don't need professional barbers to cut all the whopenis' hair. You minimally need someone who's not yourself to look at your head and make it even for you. I know, because I just cut my own hair because I can't get someone who sees me that I have hair on my head and that I need a haircut, that they would give me a haircut, and that I would like it. And if I don't like it, what do I get for that I don't like it? So I would just braided my hair in 3 parts, here, 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 and here. So what I was feeling while I was braiding was that the hair, I could feel like the ends of some of the hair while I was holding on to longer hair. And if somebody else had cut my hair, I suppose that would have been even. The hair would have been smooth. All the length of the hair would be together and come together at a point at the end, and then it would be cut. And instead, I think it's like all over the place. Like it's not even, and some of the hair is longer, is being braided just because it's unsanitary, is why I ever cut it myself. And I can't go out and have somebody else do it. Someone can come here and cut my hair, but you wouldn't come here for a Twinkie. You come here just to tell me that I owe you money, and if I don't give it to you, I have to get out, and I can't be homeless. I belong in jail because I didn't give you money out of the bank. I am not a banker. You want to put me in jail because I'm not a bank manager, and I'm not a bank teller, and I'm not a banker. I actually can't afford the money that you are requirement. You think that I need for myself to be alive in this world, which is your world. It's my landlord's world. I owe you more money than I can afford to pay you to be alive in your own world of landlording. And you won't cut my hair for the money. You won't do anything for the money. You won't clean the apartment for the money. What's the money for? It's not my money. It's none of my business. I have the receipt and I'm allowed to be here until I owe you more money. Wow, if I was in the bank, I would have been long gone doing that. So you know who I am or you don't know who I am? How is it possible to come up with so much money? Well, I mean, I needed the money for myself, but you charged me for the money. I also needed myself. Well, I needed myself anyway. That's what you wanted, is that I pay you that I need myself. But you keep telling me that if I don't give you the money, that I can't be here with myself. Myself, can't be here. So, who penises paying a barber, what would they do? Would they take off their clothing and say, you can... I don't know, who penises say that to me just because they're angry? What if a who penis needs something and it's not given to them the way they want it? Would they then become angry about something that they are feeling that they want control over? What if I was Howard Chait and I went up to a barber, and it's his barber shop? He's been there for years. I go in there, I say I need a haircut, and I'll tell you how much I can give you for the haircut. I know that you have prices in here, but I need my haircut. I'm willing to take off my clothes, and you can give me oral sex for that. You're going to cut my hair. And the barber would say, I'm the one with the scissors. Shut up, because that's hysterical. This is how I fight back with Howard is not enough. I would like to see Howard Chait, business card holder, in the afterlife. I would like to show him this video. Does anyone want to show it to him while he's in the waiting room? He should be thinking about how he's on his way to lethal injection in a prison in the afterlife. And while he's in the waiting room, he can be really comfortable and watch this video. I want Howard Tate to know that I'm off my parents' money now and I don't have full height that way. I'm not sure if that takes care of whatever made him angry about me personally. If he wants me to say no to something, I can, but that's him needing to make a speech offense in a walled-in prison with deceased address, and I don't have a live that way. That means I don't owe him a no because I asked him, please don't hurt me. Or I told him that I love something else. Can we agree on that he's not hurting something else that I love with myself? Like such as God above. Please don't make the God above me in heaven. Please don't make him angry with myself. Because I don't create sex myself. And I don't even know you. So what made you bring up sex right away? Because I don't even know you. Nobody else introduced you to myself. That your name is Howard Chait. You're a licensed massage therapist. And that's because I asked if I could see a licensed massage therapist. That's mentally impossible. I would not do that. It's not a cruise ship. You have to be on a cruise ship to see a massage therapist. And then you deboard, how do you say, you exit the cruise ship by way of gangway. How do you leave the cruise ship? Wow, I took so many cruises and I can't remember the words, what they used to say on the cruise ship about itself. Licensed massage therapist on the cruise ship, but they don't say that. They say if you want to go to get a massage, you can go to a designated area, something like a spa on the cruise ship. No, I was too young to do that myself. You think Cheryl and Howard Chait could meet in the afterlife? Are you just amusing myself that you don't care, but I would think about what if I didn't have to cry anymore about Howard Chait hurt me in the genitals? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, but if I don't cry anymore, who's going to take over the job? That it was a traumatic experience for myself. Maybe it was one of the new experiences my dad wanted me to have. So don't you think we should be bringing this up in a walled-in prison with deceased address in the afterlife? Because I don't arrive there around the way it went down was not malicious in its proper place. That means I heard a speech offense that was maybe due to somebody else, and it was where somebody else was someplace else, and where I was not really particularly hot. Wasn't due to be there. So if I want to hear, if it's in my prejudice, I suppose it is now. But Howard Tate could have just walked away. He did leave the first threat he made, but he didn't withdraw his objections to myself. And he did not. He really did not. He annihilated my existence. I'm not sure if it was worth it to him. I would like to ask him that in a walled-in prison with deceased address in the afterlife somewhere. But I don't have full height right here as a female, so I would not be female after that. Is that to make the point to Howard Tate that he attacked somebody that would have been male to hear what he said to me? But not really, because it's after that I'm female is right here. Was not due to myself. Yeah, but he was angry with me, all up in my face, personally with myself. And I don't know him. He introduced himself. This is my business card with my name. I didn't ask him for a business card. I didn't ask him what his name was. I don't even really know him apart from everyone else in the office space. And why wasn't he in the property in dispute, which was an office? Do you want the keys to the office? I don't have a life that way. I don't have keys to that office. And there is a guest because I am myself, God deceased. I want to tell Howard Tate that I'm not angry with Dave Epley for telling me about that office, and Dave Epley didn't have the keys and opened the door for me. And when I got there, I was just looking around at what was inside the office, which was photography and books. I didn't really get angry with God above or with Dave Epley being a senior citizen, pretty old, and he's just not that nice because he is himself, but he's nice enough. Nice enough. Howard Tate, not nice enough. So I want to tell him that in a walled-in prison with deceased address, so I'll be in the afterlife. I know, but I'm not female anymore. So really, you don't ever want to answer to me ever. Yeah, but I have plenty to say because I can live with myself after what you did to me, even though my overlord had a meltdown. I think I shouldn't have to live with myself after what you did to me. I think I should be able to live with myself that you did nothing to hurt me. Yeah, but it didn't go down that way for you. We all want to know why and why not. Yes, but I can. I can say this much to the camera alone, myself, talking to the camera and to the God above myself, creating myself that it's whole. What I'm saying is whole and has meaning and substance, and it is myself interiorly. And maybe your question is, what would I do with who I am in the presence of yourself? And you are in the presence of myself. I'm not in the presence of yourself, but your illegal action on the threatening, speech offending in public without the risk to yourself that would be if you were in a walled-in prison with deceased address and it was threatening yourself with a death. You were trying to do what you were doing, which was threatening to myself deceased and get money out of it, like endless money. You wanted money that is right now, I'm counting 25 years of money for you. But you didn't know that at the time. Howard Tate doesn't have Alive That Way in the year 2000, that Becky, the one who heard his speech offense, I want sex, it's just what I need. He didn't know I was going to live for 25 years after he said that to me. Yeah, but he's living off of 25 years of money. Yeah, I wouldn't give him $1. No. I am the debt. I'm there because I need money. I'm not there because I need to give you money. I don't need to give you anything. Is that what you think about me? That's what you need to be, in a walled-in prison with the ceased address, so we can talk about how you are not there unless I'm going to give you everything you want. And you don't think I need anything at all. And I'm going to say, I'm not here unless I'm going to get something that I need out of being here. And I don't need your semen in my vaginal canal. I don't need your semen in my mouth. I don't need you to attack my anus with semen when I eat and I poop like every day. I don't really need that, but I do to be around you. And that's how you want to treat me after all the eating I have to go through to even know you. I don't want the taste of the food anymore. I would like to tell you that in a walled-in prison with deceased address in the afterlife, when there's no more threats to myself deceased. And if that's why I can hear you, like, do we want to know how low this can go? I realize that, but I don't have all the money up front like you have your tongue in your mouth. Who penis do in Africa? Let's say that's true. Howard was born lower than if he had been, born in money in African blood prison for who penises. That's where he would be ideally for himself with himself, but he doesn't hold himself alive that way, and I don't afford you any lower than that. You were alive in Africa, blood prison, that's all I afford about Howard Tate. Like, I never met you in my life because I would not be in an African blood prison for who penises because I don't have a penis. You need to be segregated like Asians are segregated in Asia, but the Asians in America don't just get on airplanes and go to Asia and stay there. They don't believe in their segregation. And because there's Asians in America, you know that they don't have leverage to be in Asia because they're Asian. They don't have leverage. They are segregated by God. That means they are separated and put out into Asia because they're Asian and they look alike and they stay together. But the Asians in America don't look in the mirror and say, I'm an Asian, I need to get on the nearest airplane and go all the way as far into Asia as I can go as an Asian person. They don't do that. I just don't afford to be near you. So if who penis is in Africa, Asian who penis can be in Africa. So you could be an Asian with a penis and be in Africa, blood prison. Fine. I would never be there because I don't have a penis. So it's fine. You can fight in there about if you want the Asian person with the penis to be in Asia from Africa to Asia. If you even think about that. That they need to be in a blood prison for just Asian people with a penis. That would be something like Concept Asia. Yeah, but if you're in an African blood prison, you can't be near an airport. You can't be threatening that you're going to leave on an airplane. You can't make a plane outside of an African blood prison and laugh. You're hysterical that way. Who penises are mentally impossible. They say mentally impossible things. They do things that are mentally impossible. They don't know how to die. I realize that, but no one can afford that they want money in between the time they find themselves illegally alive and whenever they are no longer alive anymore. Who can afford to give them any money? You can't. You have a penis, doesn't have any money. The US dollars don't have any penis genitals on the dollar to alive and form itself. You don't have any money with the penis. You just don't have it. Who can afford to give you even $1? No one can afford to give you $1. You don't have $1. You don't have 2 pennies to rub together. Do you want to talk about that in the afterlife? In a prison with deceased address? And we can talk about your money and some of the things you're sensitive about. That you say no to, you fire off no because you are threatening that you don't care about your own self deceased to everybody who's not yourself. Everybody who's not yourself. You're willing to lay that all out on the line and sell it for money from 1 or 2 people who are near you physically, unfortunately. And you're talking over the leverage it is to alive the public against your own self deceased to everyone in the public is why you are alive. You must decease yourself to everyone who's not yourself and not concentrate on 1 or 2 people you think you can get something out of them when you have an enormous debt already that you must freeze in the bank. That you are yourself and you need to decease yourself to everybody else's illegal alive genitals that are around you. You can't be angry and say, I'm just going to spend a lot of money that somebody else needs. God alives a stock I don't afford. If nobody's paying it out, why is it still there? Well, I need myself deceased out of the door locking. Akshav. I think the public, everything that's for sale in the public should be shut down so that I can die. Do you have a population control problem? Why don't you have that problem? Because I'm about to have nothing to lose here. If you want to know if they love me, I think we've established that they wouldn't bring me a Snickers bar. Yes, the king-size Snickers bar is what I need. First, I'll mention Charles Toe brought me, I asked for Snickers bars, and Charles Toe brought me fun-size Snickers bars, the small ones. But what I need is king-size Snickers bar because I am the king is disclosed, deceased here. And the Snickers bars, king-size, I can eat as many of them as I can get. I had some in the year 2000 and what? In the apartment number 36 in Ogden Pines. I don't live there anymore, but I had some Snickers bars in there that were king-size Snickers bars. Yeah, but I'm the king is disclosed right here. That means they're my Snickers bars. Did you pay for them? Ha ha ha.